Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. Two Cowboys players will see a decreasing role after bye week. In a normal week, the Dallas Cowboys players and coaches would right now be preparing for a game. Instead, they are enjoying some much-needed time off with their Week 7 bye. There is a fairly unanimous sentiment around this bye week. It could not have come at a better time for this organization. You don't need me to tell you that things are not going well. The owner of the team threatening to fire reporters is proof enough. Between that circus, the relentless injury bug, and the roster issues, this off week was desperately needed. It will give the coaching staff a great chance to reevaluate, above all else, and that's what we're here to discuss. At 3-3 with the San Francisco 49ers on deck and injured players healing, some playing time changes are needed. With that in mind, let's take a look at two Cowboys players, one offensive and one defensive, who will see a decreasing role following this bye week. Ezekiel Elliott, running back one debate is no longer. Let me start by saying this: I love Ezekiel Elliott. He is one of my all-time favorite Cowboys players. At the same time, we must be able to admit that he simply is not the answer at running back in 2024. Some may ask, is that because of performance struggles, his age, or the young emerging talent in front of him? The answer is all of the above. First off, we can't pretend anymore that a lack of opportunities, a need to get warmed up, or offensive line problems is the cause of Elliott's slow start. It's his declining ability in 2024. That's why he is struggling to make the same impact this year. He is facing career lows in rushing success rate, yards per carry, and yards per game. I mean, for crying out loud, his longest rush on the season in just under 40 attempts is a 9-yard rush. Secondly, the reason we're at this unfortunate crossroads with Zeke is because of his age. At 29 years old with over 2,100 carries under his belt, sustained performance is impossible. Now, the last and perhaps biggest reason why Elliott's continued chance at the running back one spot is failing is because of the other guy getting snaps at the position. Rico Dowdle is clearly the Cowboys' best running back, and we need to see Mike McCarthy and the offense recognize that fact in their Week 8 matchup with the San Francisco 49ers. In Week 5, Dowdle doubled Elliott's best yardage performance of the year with a career-best game. It is simply not a debate between these two anymore. Elliott is a worse running back than Dowdle at this point. Perhaps this bye week will allow the coaching staff to shake off the nostalgia and realize that fact. Amani Orie, full strength equals fewer snaps. Way back in 2019, the Detroit Lions took a 5th-round flyer on Penn State cornerback, Amani Orie. Half a decade and 3 teams later, Orie played a massive role against the Lions as a member of the Cowboys secondary. In Week 6, this veteran cornerback participated in the most defensive snaps of any Cowboys player on the roster. With 65 defensive snaps, Orie was in front of linebacker DeMarvion Overshown's 63, and safeties Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson's 57 and 56. This has not just been a one-week enigma, by the way. Since Week 4, Orie has been either in the top 10 or top 5 in total Cowboys defensive snaps. In short, he has taken on a major role in the last few weeks. Unfortunately for him, his chances are likely to quickly diminish once Dallas returns from their bye week. This is because Orie became a starter through injuries to Darren Bland and rookie Kalen Carson, as well as the performance struggles of Andrew Booth Jr. I would be shocked if we didn't see both Bland and Carson return to the field in Week 8. If that happened, he would fall from the second corner behind Diggs to 4th on the depth chart. There is not a chance he'd start over the aforementioned Diggs, Bland, Carson, or Jordan Lewis. It's a business, and opportunities come and go. It just so happens that Orie's opportunity is coming to an end in Dallas. This Cowboys player was a fun story for a few weeks, but it's back to being a depth piece going forward. Cowboys predicted to add record-setting game-breaker to fill major hole. If there is anything good to come out of this mess of a season for the Cowboys, we might not see it for another 6 months or so. That, of course, is when the NFL draft will take place, and a break from finishing 12-5 and flopping in the playoffs could give Dallas the chance to add an impact player with a higher pick. The Cowboys still are 3-3, which is not that bad a position to be in, but they face the 7th toughest schedule the rest of the way, and the nature of their losses, 2 major blowouts at home, and a third that was a blowout until a fruitless fourth-quarter rally, suggest that this is not a team that is heading into an upswing. Dallas could yet make the playoffs, and the NFC East is by no means out of reach. The Commanders are off to a good start, but they're only 1 game ahead of Dallas, and the Eagles are flailing almost as badly as the Cowboys. The Giants have been better, but they're still the Giants. But it'd be nice to be in position to draft a game-changer next year. And this week on ESPN.com, the Cowboys were predicted to land that game-changer, Boise State's Ashton Jeanty. Ashton Jeanty chasing Barry Sanders' record. In case you've missed it, Jeanty has been the most dominant running back in college football this season, and one of the most dominant in recent memory. He has 1,248 yards rushing in just 6 games, with 17 touchdowns, leading the nation in both categories. He is averaging 9.9 yards per carry and 208.0 yards per game, giving him a shot at eclipsing Barry Sanders' all-time record of 2,628 yards on the ground in one season. And Jordan Reed's latest mock draft at ESPN has the Cowboys picking Jeanty at number 15. How Reed sees it, Jeanty is off to a historic start to the season, with the second most rushing yards, 1,248, and touchdowns, 17, through 6 games in the past 20 FBS seasons. He has 841 yards after contact, first in the FBS, and 255 more than the next best rusher. The stats speak for themselves, and Jeanty would be an instant boost for the Cowboys as a runner and a receiver out of the backfield. What do you think? Leave your opinion in the comments and subscribe to the channel. See you later.